Paris, 1816. The rain whispers against the hospital windows. Inside, a young doctor leans close to hear a dying woman's breath and hesitates. A heartbeat flickers beneath the cloth, fragile, urgent, yet hidden. He knows the only way to listen is improper, invasive, uncomfortable. He steps back. He imagines her fear, her modesty, her quiet dignity. A thought strikes him like a bolt of lightning. There must be another way. The candlelight trembles, casting shadows that dance on the walls of the ward. Outside, the city is alive, indifferent, unaware of the revolution that will begin here. Every doctor before him would have pressed closer, ear against chest, feeling, listening, trying, but crossing a line that should never be crossed. He does not move. He cannot. His respect is stronger than habit. And in that hesitation, an idea begins to form. Small, fragile, miraculous. He rolls a sheet of paper into a tube, presses one end to the patient's chest, and hears it, clearer than ever. The pure, unwavering rhythm of life. A heartbeat, once hidden, now speaks. This was not just a sound. This was a revelation. A simple act of decency, of respect, of empathy, would become a tool that changes medicine forever. Paris, 1781. A small, dimly lit room trembled under the candle's unsteady light. Young René sat at the bedside, feeling his mother's fevered hand slip away slowly. Her eyes, tired yet warm, met his, as though leaving a secret she could not speak. He pressed his palm to her cheek, heart pounding, wishing he could carry her pain. The coughs racked her body, relentless, cruel, tearing the warmth from the room itself. And in that silence between spasms, a question planted itself firmly in his mind. Why must life leave those we love before we can protect them properly? Why must the suffering of the innocent go unheard, unseen, unheeded, untouched by care? The boy, small for his age, yet keenly observant, began to note every detail, every shiver, every wheeze, every faltering breath, as if memorizing life's fragile language. He watched her chest rise and fall with a rhythm both cruel and mesmerizing. And he promised, silently, that no human voice, no heartbeat, would go unheard forever. Days melted into nights, and the Parisian winds carried news of deaths around him. Yet the young boy found solace in learning, in books, in the flickering candlelight. He traced the delicate lines of anatomy with trembling fingers, seeking understanding. The pulse of life, the whisper of lungs, the invisible cords that tethered soul to body. René's father, solemn and distant, admired his son's intelligence, feared his emotional depth, but the mother's absence left a void that demanded attention, care, and imagination. He often wandered the streets, observing doctors in their work, manners, and merciless hands, and noticed the cruel pragmatism, the disregard for modesty, the discomfort in delicate care. At age 14, he enrolled in the medical school at Nantes, eager, bright-eyed, determined. Each lecture, each demonstration, fed his curiosity yet gnawed at his conscience profoundly. The cadavers lay on tables, pale reminders of life's fragility and whispers of mistakes. The teachers praised skill, precision, knowledge, yet often neglected empathy, respect, human warmth. One day, during a practical session, a fellow student made a mistake with haste. The patient flinched, dignity lost in the rush, discomfort ignored, humanity forgotten entirely. René's stomach twisted, his heart ached, but he did not speak immediately, observing carefully a silent vow formed. He would never sacrifice respect for efficiency, knowledge for habit. He became known as the boy who listened, who watched more than he spoke. His instructors admired his attention to detail, but whispered about his unusual sensitivity. Yet René pressed on, understanding that medicine demanded both courage of intellect and heart. The faintest cough, the gentlest murmur, might carry a secret that could save a life. Years passed, Paris's streets, cobbled and muddy, became his home and his classroom. The hospitals smelled of sickness and despair, the cries of patients echoing through halls. René moved among them, always careful, always observing, always listening. Beyond the obvious, he treated each patient not as a subject, but as a living, breathing story to understand. In 1800, after years of rigorous training, he received his medical license, full of promise. Yet the city, bustling and indifferent, still held the harsh reality of illness and death. Every day, he faced the invisible weight of humanity's suffering and fragile mortality. And every day, he reminded himself of the child who sat by his mother's bedside. He carried that memory, that grief, that compassion, like a lantern in the dark. It lit his path, guided his hands, and taught him that skill alone was insufficient. Empathy, respect, ingenuity. These would be his weapons against suffering and fear alike. Every patient, every illness, every heartbeat demanded reverence, patience, understanding, and dignity. By 1810, René's reputation had begun to spread quietly among the discerning doctors. They spoke of his precision, his curiosity, but also of his unusual humanity, unusual care. Women, especially, noted his gentleness, his refusal to cross boundaries that others ignored in him. They sensed a rare alignment of mind and conscience, courage and compassion. And then came 1816, the moment that would etch his name into history forever. A young woman, delicate and frightened, arrived with a complaint of palpitations and distress. The common practice demanded the doctor place his ear directly upon her chest. But René, remembering the promise of a boy long ago, hesitated, mindful of dignity. He paused, weighing propriety against the need to heal, listening to the silence instead. Then, in a flash of clarity, he rolled a sheet of paper, pressed it gently, and heard what had been hidden, whispered, inaccessible, yet vital to saving her life. The heartbeat spoke clearly, rhythmically, a testament to the marriage of thought and respect. It was a small, simple idea, yet it carried the weight of revolution in medicine. A tube of paper became a stethoscope. Respect became innovation. Compassion became legacy. From that day, René Laennec would never simply listen to the body again. He listened to humanity itself, the fragile symphony of life and dignity intertwined. Paris, 1816. Rain tapped a steady rhythm against the tall, gray hospital windows above. Inside, the young woman trembled on the examination bed, her chest heaving with fear. Doctors had approached her roughly before, treating modesty as inconvenience, humanity as obstacle. René paused at the threshold, recalling every lesson of gentleness and every promise he made. Her eyes, wide and wary, flicked toward him, searching for judgment, not compassion, anywhere. He knelt, careful, measured, refusing the casual indifference he had seen in others before. The common method demanded proximity, pressing ear against chest, a ritual she dreaded. He felt a familiar pang, a memory of his mother's final moments returning sharply. In that instant, inspiration struck like lightning, clear and irrevocable, bright as day. He tore a sheet from his notebook, rolled it, shaping a delicate listening tube. Gently, he placed one end upon her chest, the other to his attentive ear, and the faint, trembling heartbeat spoke to him, clearer than any ear could capture. She flinched, uncertain at first, but he reassured her with eyes steady, warm, deliberate. No hands lingered unnecessarily, no pressure imposed, the space between them respected wholly. For the first time, she felt medicine as solace, not violation, curiosity, not threat. And René realized the invention was not merely sound amplification, but human dignity restored. He listened for long minutes, mapping rhythm, pitch, and irregularities with precise, gentle focus. Every thump, every murmur became a word in a silent language only he understood. The young woman's fear melted into quiet trust. a fragile flower opening cautiously. In that trust, the heartbeat revealed secrets of disease, previously hidden, misunderstood, ignored. He later carved a wooden version, more durable, refined, still retaining the patient's comfort. Doctors marveled at his innovation, calling it a simple tool, but it carried deeper meaning. It transformed the relationship between healer and patient, a bridge built of respect and skill, and yet no one understood fully that it was born from empathy, not ambition alone. René's notes filled with observations of lungs, heart murmurs, and the subtleties of life. He documented patterns of tuberculosis, studied chest diseases, connected symptoms to silent causes. A treatise on the diseases of the chest emerged in 1819. Meticulous, revolutionary, compassionate, every page spoke of science and morality intertwined, of intelligence guided by humaneness. The young woman left that day, heart lighter than when she arrived, unaware of history. But René carried her heartbeat, her fear, her trust, in his mind and in his work. Each patient henceforth was a reminder that medicine's power was amplified by kindness. The stethoscope was not only a tool, it was an extension of conscience, dignity, care. Word of his gentle, brilliant methods spread quietly among Paris's hospitals and salons alike. Patients whispered about the doctor who listened more than he judged, who respected every boundary. Young women felt safer, fathers felt relief. Even skeptical colleagues began to notice the change. And René realized that one small act of empathy could ripple into profound, lasting innovation. He experimented tirelessly, perfecting the wooden stethoscope, calibrating length, diameter, and sound clarity. Every adjustment accounted for accuracy, patient comfort, and ease, a balance of precision and respect. He returned repeatedly to observation, listening to lungs and hearts, cataloging life's hidden symphonies. Each note documented, each discovery tested. His work became a silent testament to morality in medicine. Yet, for all his brilliance, René could not escape the shadows of his own mortality. Years of tuberculosis study, of proximity to illness, of inhaling the same fate as patients, slowly claimed his strength, each day taking pieces of the man who once listened fearlessly. And yet, even as weakness crept in, his resolve to heal, to respect, never faltered. He taught students, colleagues, anyone who would observe, the importance of patience, care, and silence. Listen first, he would say, to the body, to the heart, to the person beneath disease. And in that instruction, the stethoscope became more than wood and hollow cylinder. It became ethos, a philosophy, a reminder that humanity, empathy, and intellect must walk hand in hand always. In 1826, René Laennec's life was claimed by the very disease he studied with devotion. Yet Paris remembered, the medical world remembered, and every heartbeat since has carried his echo. The woman who trembled that day, the countless patients thereafter, unknowingly became part of his legacy. And every gentle act of innovation, born from respect, continues to inspire compassion in medicine. He was more than inventor, more than physician. He was the embodiment of moral courage, the stethoscope, humble in appearance, monumental in impact, a gift born from conscience and heart. Through a simple act, he taught the world that empathy could be as revolutionary as intellect, and that listening, truly listening, could change lives, heal hearts, and shape history forever. Paris, 1819. The city buzzed with gossip, scholars, and the restless footsteps of progress. René's treatise on the diseases of the chest had just been published, crisp and revolutionary. Doctors across Europe opened its pages with curiosity, skepticism, and a dawning respect for insight. He wrote not just for minds, but for hearts, teaching medicine with conscience as compass. Word spread slowly, then like wildfire, of the man who listened first, judged never, always. Colleagues marveled at the precision of his stethoscope, a wooden instrument holding dignity and sound. Young physicians copied his methods, inspired by a gentleness they had not known before, awed. The invention was simple, yet transformative. A cylinder of wood had reshaped patient care forever. But admiration was not universal. Some envied his insight, dismissed empathy as a weakness, not strength. Doctors accustomed to haste and dominance scoffed at listening, at treating modesty as essential, sacred. René endured whispers, subtle mockery, and the occasional scornful glance, unshaken, ever patient, unbowed. He understood deeply that morality in science often precedes recognition, yet leaves permanent, invisible marks. The stethoscope became a symbol of respect, a quiet rebellion against thoughtless, impersonal medicine. Patients who feared examination now felt safe, knowing a man of principle would observe, not violate. And in quiet consultation rooms, the heartbeat became a teacher, revealing truth, patterns, subtle irregularities. Each pulse recorded in memory and note, every observation feeding knowledge, compassion, and revolutionary discovery. René spent hours in the hospital wards, cataloging murmurs, wheezes, and coughs with meticulous care. He traced the patterns of tuberculosis, of lung collapse, and of diseases hidden beneath silent chests. Every case he documented, every sound he recorded, became a piece of a larger understanding. Medicine was no longer guesswork. Empathy and observation together became a language of life itself. Yet his dedication came at a cost. Prolonged exposure to illness weakened his once strong frame. He coughed softly, often late at night, hiding fatigue beneath the diligence that defined him completely. Friends whispered, family worried, yet René insisted that work, compassion, and duty outweighed personal suffering. He understood that discovery demanded sacrifice, yet he never let ambition overshadow respect for patients. The wooden stethoscope spread from Paris to London, Vienna, and beyond, carried by awed physicians. Each city, each hospital, bore witness to a new era, listening as an act of human decency. Children of medicine learned not only technique, but reverence, the silent rhythm of a person's life. And the world slowly remembered that innovation is not only mind, but heart in action combined. René's final years were shadowed by disease. The tuberculosis he studied claimed him mercilessly, silently. Yet even as his body weakened, his notes, designs, and empathy burned brighter than ever before. Students gathered, eager to witness the man whose quiet revolution had transformed their vocation forever. He taught them to see beyond symptoms, to recognize humanity hidden beneath illness and fear. In Paris, the hospital corridors echoed with stories of his compassion, whispered among nurses, patients alike. He treats more than disease, they said. He listens to life itself, with honor and heart. And though René would not witness the world's full response, history would honor him eternally. Every heartbeat measured, every diagnosis improved, carried a fragment of his empathy, timeless, unbroken. His death in 1826, at 45, left a void in medicine, a silence both profound and respectful. Yet the stethoscope endured, its wooden cylinder an everlasting monument to conscience and human care. Physicians held it not only as a tool, but as a moral reminder, a call to kindness. Every patient examined bore witness to René's belief that respect and knowledge are inseparable allies. The world would forget few names, but some echo forever in every heartbeat. Every pulse counted. René Laennec became more than doctor, inventor, or author. He became the conscience of medicine. Women and men alike revered his gentle courage, his insistence that morality guided the scalpel stethoscope. He proved that true genius manifests not in power or fame, but in listening with unwavering empathy. And in every modern hospital, in every quiet room where lives are measured and comforted, a wooden cylinder transformed into a stethoscope whispers his message. Compassion is revolutionary, dignity paramount. He taught the world that innovation is born from conscience, courage, and profound respect for life. René's heartbeat continues in every patient examined, every life saved, every act of thoughtful care. The echo of his compassion stretches across centuries, reminding us that morality can shape history. A simple act, a rolled paper tube, a decision to respect, created a legacy far greater than gold. René Laennec was not only a physician, he was a man who listened to humanity itself. And as medicine advances, his gentle lesson remains eternal. The heart must guide the hands always. Paris, 1825. The hospital halls no longer felt bustling. They felt heavy, fragile, shadowed by time. René's cough had deepened, each exhale a reminder of the disease he had studied relentlessly. He moved with care, his once sure hands now trembling slightly, yet his mind remained sharp, unwavering. The wooden stethoscope rested always near, a companion as loyal as any human could be. He paused by a young patient, fevered and frightened, trembling under the hospital's dim lamplight glow. For her he knelt, listening, not with urgency, but with patience that carried dignity and calm. Every heartbeat he heard echoed his own fragile pulse, a mirrored reminder of mortality's quiet insistence. Yet, he never faltered, never allowed fear or fatigue to shadow the kindness that defined him. His colleagues noticed, whispering concern between rounds, urging rest, warning that disease waits for no one. But René would only smile faintly, eyes bright with purpose, the mission of care unshaken. "You cannot heal with fear," he said once softly, "only with respect, with thought, with heart." His words, simple yet profound, became doctrine for those lucky enough to witness his work. Night fell, candles flickering, illuminating piles of notes, sketches, and observations of lung disease. Tuberculosis, the very malady that had claimed his mother, now shadowed his own waning life. He recorded sounds meticulously, documenting subtle wheezes, crackles, and murmurs with unwavering precision. Each line of observation was a gift, a map for future physicians, a lifeline to knowledge. Pain came in waves, stealing breath, yet never stealing resolve. René endured, stoic, quietly heroic. Patients continued to arrive, seeking not only diagnosis, but the comfort only he could offer. He listened to their fears, their doubts, their trembling hearts, each examination an act of care. And with each heartbeat heard, each life eased, his own spirit seemed to find fleeting strength. Friends visited, trying to convince him to rest, to leave the wards, to preserve his fragile body. He shook his head gently, refusing to abandon duty, knowing knowledge and empathy outweighed personal comfort. "I live through my patients," he whispered one evening, gaze distant yet clear. "Through their courage, their trust." Compassion, he believed, was the most vital pulse in medicine, stronger than even the heart itself. Time became measured in coughs, in pauses between breaths, in moments of reflection over a life dedicated. He thought of his mother, lost to disease, her memory guiding each careful, deliberate motion, every decision. Her absence had birthed empathy, her memory, the relentless drive to combine intellect with morality. He understood the cost. Brilliance and decency are rarely free. They demand sacrifice, patience, and endurance. Letters arrived from distant physicians praising the stethoscope, praising methodology, praising the gentle, revolutionary man. They wrote of patients now treated with respect, of diagnoses made with compassion, of lives subtly transformed. René read them, each word a small balm for the cough, the fatigue, the creeping fever within. He smiled faintly, knowing that while his body failed, his legacy would continue, living through others. Spring arrived, soft and hesitant, yet René's strength ebbed with the blossom's slow awakening. He felt the first real fear, not for knowledge lost, but for time slipping too quickly, unrelenting. His final days were quiet, filled with reflection, with memories of discovery, of compassion, of humanity. Even in weakness, he insisted on listening, on teaching, on passing wisdom like a gentle flame. One morning, he lingered in the hospital garden, sunlight warm on pale, fragile skin. A student approached nervously, notebook trembling, eager to hear guidance from a master nearing eternity. René placed a hand lightly on his shoulder, eyes soft but unwavering, voice steady despite frailty. "Remember," he said, "medicine is not the loudest discovery, but the quietest respect you can show." His last entry in notes detailed not disease nor anatomy, but the moral responsibility of a physician. Every line emphasized patience, dignity, and listening. The heartbeats of both patient and practitioner. He closed the book slowly, hands trembling, eyes lingering on the words as if speaking to the future. And then, quietly, with the same dignity that defined his life, René Laennec exhaled for the final time. The hospital mourned, the city whispered, and yet his name became legend, whispered in every ward. Every stethoscope carried his echo, every heartbeat measured remembered the man who chose compassion first. He had traded years for understanding, breath for wisdom, life for a legacy that would endure centuries. And Paris and the world would never again measure only symptoms, but also respect, empathy, and care. René Laennec, physician, inventor, gentleman, a man whose conscience guided science, whose heart guided medicine. His story reminds all who follow. Brilliance without empathy is empty. Innovation without respect is hollow. Through the simple act of listening, of honoring humanity, he reshaped medicine, morality, and history itself. And every heartbeat measured today still whispers his name, still carries his quiet, revolutionary compassion. Paris, 1826. News of René Laennec's passing spread quietly, yet its echo resounded through medicine. Students, colleagues, and patients mourned not only a brilliant physician, but a compassionate, moral soul. Stethoscopes rested in hands now more aware, each heartbeat measured with newfound dignity and care. His invention, born from empathy, continued to teach respect for the fragile lives entrusted to doctors. Across Europe, physicians read his treatise, discovering lung sounds previously ignored, illnesses once misunderstood. Every page carried meticulous observations, patient stories, and the ethical weight of listening first, judging later. Doctors marveled at the clarity his methods provided, understanding that care extended beyond mere clinical diagnosis. Laennec's teachings spread quietly, subtly transforming medicine into a profession anchored by conscience and empathy. Generations of students revered the man who had dared to innovate with patience and morality. They remembered his calm voice, his insistence on respect, his unshakable commitment to human dignity. Hospitals began to adopt his wooden stethoscopes, and soon the invention evolved, refined yet rooted in principle. The simple tube that began with folded paper became the symbol of integrity in medical practice. Children of physicians grew up hearing his story, imagining a man who listened not just with ears. His life became a benchmark for what a doctor could be: kind, brilliant, and morally upright. Every heartbeat examined carried a silent reminder: medicine serves humanity, not vanity or ego-driven pursuit. And in each quiet ward, Laennec's presence lingered, gentle but profound, guiding hands and hearts alike. Even outside hospitals, his influence seeped into society, elevating expectations of care and respect. People spoke of him in hushed admiration, a gentleman who lived not for accolades but for service. Women and children, once anxious under examinations, now encountered kindness encoded in every stethoscope's hum. The world began to understand that empathy could reshape practice, that respect could redefine expertise. Artists sketched him as he had been, thoughtful, gentle, leaning over a patient's trembling chest. Writers chronicled his life, highlighting the fusion of intellect and conscience that marked his every action. His story inspired countless young men and women to enter medicine, motivated by humanity, not just science. The ripple of one man's ethics extended far beyond Paris, threading through centuries of clinical practice. In classrooms, professors told his tale not merely for technique, but for character, teaching moral courage. Every student learned that the heart mattered as much as lungs, that dignity was part of diagnosis. Modern hospitals with gleaming stethoscopes owe their roots to a man who dared honor modesty first. The pulse of every patient carried his philosophy. Listen carefully, act kindly, respect every life encountered. Medical journals occasionally reference his work, yet his greatest contribution cannot be quantified in citations. It lives instead in silent gestures, a gentle touch, patient reassurance, listening before prescribing, humility before knowledge. His name is etched not only in history, but in every heartbeat that beats under respectful observation. And for those who understand, every stethoscope is a monument, a reminder of human compassion immortalized. Children now play with toy stethoscopes, unaware of Laennec's life, but following in his ethical footsteps. Doctors entering wards feel his legacy, sensing that innovation without kindness is incomplete, shallow, unworthy. Hospitals worldwide echo his mantra silently: empathy first, intellect second, ego last. The patient always central. The world he left behind is richer not only in medicine, but in the principle of decency itself. In museums, his original instruments rest under glass, humble yet revolutionary, telling stories of courage and care. Visitors pause, reading inscriptions, imagining the man who chose humanity over convention, kindness over comfort. Every glance at the stethoscope reminds us, small acts of respect can birth transformations that outlast lifetimes. The story of René Laennec becomes legend, teaching that moral integrity and genius need not be separate forces. Paris streets now hum with modern life, yet somewhere in the echoes of hospital corridors he lingers. A patient's sigh, a doctor's steady hand, a student's careful observation. His spirit permeates them all. Time moves, inventions evolve, yet the stethoscope remains a testament to a man who listened first, always. And in every quiet moment, when a heartbeat is heard clearly for the first time, he smiles. René Laennec, physician, inventor, gentleman. His life proof that brilliance guided by conscience transforms the world. His story whispers across centuries. Empathy is strength, respect is innovation, morality is timelessly powerful. Every heartbeat counted, every patient dignified, every student inspired. His legacy is alive, eternal, unwavering. And as long as stethoscopes rest in hands guided by care, his echo continues, a man who heard humanity. Paris, 1816. Rain lashes cobblestones. A young woman lies pale, trembling. Doctors lean close, ears pressed, fear mingling with duty. He hesitates, not because he cannot diagnose, but because he refuses to violate her dignity. In a single moment, one man's conscience will reshape medicine forever. Paris, 1781. A child's laughter mixes with the distant toll of church bells. René's mother coughs softly, a gentle warning that the world can take away those we love. By her bedside, young René feels helpless, absorbing pain and promise together. Schoolrooms echo with Latin and anatomy. Yet his mind drifts to the quiet sounds of breathing, the pulse of life itself. Teachers notice his curiosity, but it is empathy, not intellect alone, that defines him. At 16, he enters Nantes, eager to touch lives, heal suffering, and discover mysteries hidden in flesh and bone. There, he trains under seasoned physicians, learning the art of observation, the patience of listening. One patient stays with him always, a woman whose lungs betrayed her, who whispered fears he could not erase. He realizes then that medicine is more than science. It is courage, respect, and humanity intertwined. Paris, 1816. A young woman visits his office, heart racing. Physicians press their ears against her chest, assuming familiarity is permission. René freezes. Morality whispers, she deserves dignity. He searches for a solution, a way to hear without violating trust. Paper folds, a simple tube. He holds it to his ear. Silence, then clarity. The heartbeat, pure and steady. A moment of revelation. Invention born from compassion. Necessity married to conscience. Word spreads among colleagues, some skeptical, others inspired. He refines the tool into wood, studying every nuance of sound, every tremor in breath. His treatise on the diseases of the chest becomes a guide not only for lungs, but for humanity itself. Even as his fame grows, he remains humble. Knowledge without care, precision without respect, he understands, is empty. Patients feel it, sensing the gentleman behind the stethoscope. Doctors argue, some fearing tradition, others misunderstanding his intent. But René persists, seeing a world where science respects modesty, where innovation honors life. Each chest he examines becomes a conversation, a promise of safety. Every pulse he hears is a reminder. Medicine serves humans, not curiosity alone. He documents, records, cross-references diseases, lungs, hearts, connecting symptoms to signs with unmatched precision. His treatise is not just science, it is philosophy, ethics, and compassion intertwined. Yet the world is unkind to the sensitive. Tuberculosis spreads through Paris, and he cannot shield himself forever. Each patient reminds him of fragility, mortality, and the urgent need to live meaningfully. By 1824, René feels the weight of his own mortality. His body weakens, yet his mind remains sharp, dedication unwavering. Students gather, hungry for knowledge and inspired by example. He teaches not only diagnosis, but ethics. Listen first, judge later, respect always. His voice, calm yet firm, lingers in lecture halls, guiding hands, shaping hearts. As his illness advances, he reflects. The stethoscope, born from empathy, has reshaped medicine. Every physician who uses it carries his conscience, and every patient treated with respect echoes his legacy. Even facing death, he smiles at the continuity of his purpose, life's heartbeat preserved in invention, teaching, and moral courage. Paris, 1826. René Laennec dies, aged 45. Silence fills the rooms he once walked. Yet across Europe, doctors continue listening with wooden tubes, now refined, ever echoing his care. His treatise teaches observation paired with conscience. Lungs and hearts are no longer mysteries. Disease is no longer undignified. Every student, every patient bears witness to a life that merged brilliance and morality. Artists, writers, and historians immortalize him, a man who could have been ordinary but chose empathy. His story spreads beyond medicine into society, showing that respect and intellect are not opposites. Every heartbeat heard through a stethoscope carries his voice, gentle, firm, eternal. Every innovation inspired by kindness reinforces a simple truth. One life can change centuries. Children now play with toy stethoscopes, oblivious to history, yet following ethical footsteps unknowingly. Hospitals worldwide honor his principles. Empathy first, intellect second, ego last. Even time cannot erase him. Every silent pause before diagnosis, every gentle hand on a patient's chest whispers René's message. Care deeply, act morally, innovate courageously. And as the world listens, hearts beating under attentive care, his legacy resounds. The man who heard humanity. Trailer level hook, first 30 seconds. Paris, 1816. Rain lashes cobblestones. A young woman lies pale, trembling. Doctors lean close, ears pressed, fear mingling with duty. He hesitates, not because he cannot diagnose, but because he refuses to violate her dignity. In a single moment, One man's conscience will reshape medicine forever. Act Y, The Boy Who Listened. Paris, 1781. A child's laughter mixes with the distant toll of church bells. René's mother coughs softly, a gentle warning that the world can take away those we love. By her bedside, young René feels helpless, absorbing pain and promise together. Schoolrooms echo with Latin and anatomy, yet his mind drifts to the quiet sounds of breathing, the pulse of life itself. Teachers notice his curiosity, but it is empathy, not intellect alone, that defines him. At 16, he enters Nantes, eager to touch lives, heal suffering, and discover mysteries hidden in flesh and bone. There, he trains under seasoned physicians, learning the art of observation, the patience of listening. One patient stays with him always, a woman whose lungs betrayed her, who whispered fears he could not erase. He realizes then that medicine is more than science. It is courage, respect, and humanity intertwined. Act 2. The Conscience of a Doctor. Paris, 1816. A young woman visits his office, heart racing. Physicians press their ears against her chest, assuming familiarity is permission. René freezes. Morality whispers. She deserves dignity. He searches for a solution, a way to hear without violating trust. Paper folds, a simple tube. He holds it to his ear. Silence, then clarity, the heartbeat, pure and steady. A moment of revelation, invention born from compassion, necessity married to conscience. Word spreads among colleagues, some skeptical, others inspired. He refines the tool into wood, studying every nuance of sound, every tremor in breath. His treatise on the diseases of the chest becomes a guide not only for lungs, but for humanity itself. Even as his fame grows, he remains humble. Knowledge without care, precision without respect, he understands, is empty. Patients feel it, sensing the gentleman behind the stethoscope. Act 3. The Ethics of Innovation. Doctors argue, some fearing tradition, others misunderstanding his intent. But René persists, seeing a world where science respects modesty, where innovation honors life. Each chest he examines becomes a conversation, a promise of safety. Every pulse he hears is a reminder. Medicine serves humans, not curiosity alone. He documents, records, cross-references diseases, lungs, hearts, connecting symptoms to signs with unmatched precision. His treatise is not just science, it is philosophy, ethics, and compassion intertwined. Yet the world is unkind to the sensitive. Tuberculosis spreads through Paris, and he cannot shield himself forever. Each patient reminds him of fragility, mortality, and the urgent need to live meaningfully. Act 4. Courage in Decline. By 1824, René feels the weight of his own mortality. His body weakens, yet his mind remains sharp, dedication unwavering. Students gather, hungry for knowledge and inspired by example. He teaches not only diagnosis, but ethics. Listen first, judge later, respect always. His voice, calm yet firm, lingers in lecture halls, guiding hands, shaping hearts. As his illness advances, he reflects, the stethoscope, born from empathy, has reshaped medicine. Every physician who uses it carries his conscience. Every patient treated with respect echoes his legacy. Even facing death, he smiles at the continuity of his purpose, life's heartbeat preserved in invention, teaching, and moral courage. Act 5. Legacy. Eternal Paris, 1826. René Laennec dies, aged 45. Silence fills rooms he once walked. Yet across Europe, doctors continue listening with wooden tubes, now refined, ever echoing his care. His treatise teaches observation paired with conscience. Lungs and hearts are no longer mysteries. Disease is no longer undignified. Every student, every patient bears witness to a life that merged brilliance and morality. Artists, writers, and historians immortalize him, A man who could have been ordinary but chose empathy. His story spreads beyond medicine into society, showing that respect and intellect are not opposites. Every heartbeat heard through a stethoscope carries his voice, gentle, firm, eternal. Every innovation inspired by kindness reinforces a simple truth. One life can change centuries. Children now play with toy stethoscopes, oblivious to history, yet following ethical footsteps unknowingly. Hospitals worldwide honor his principles. Empathy first, intellect second, ego last. Even time cannot erase him. Every silent pause before diagnosis, every gentle hand on a patient's chest whispers René's message. Care deeply, act morally, innovate courageously. And as the world listens, hearts beating under attentive care, his legacy resounds, the man who heard humanity.